Hello and welcome to the big picture. The riveting developments over the last 2 days on the streets of the nation's capital has left the people divided. The tactics of the Aam Aadmi Party to occupy the streets of central Delhi seeking to fulfill their demands for action against the Delhi police is, to say mildly, an extremely unusual one. The issues which have cropped up in the last few days leading to what we are witnessing on the streets are a mix of over-enthusiastic governance bordering on vigilantism and also some anarchic tendencies. Though the larger issues raised, like under whom the Delhi police should operate, is a real question which has been begging for a decision for quite some time. The tactics of the Aam Aadmi Party, which is being described freely by many as anarchic, however, is also finding resonance on the ground, as more and more people are seen to be joining the protests in Delhi. Another indication of the growing support to AAP is the amazing pace with which donations are pouring in online from all over the country and abroad, virtually by the minute. So today we will look at these tactics of the Aam Aadmi Party, where its leader declares he is an anarchist, and where it would lead to, and if there have been parallels in the past. To discuss this, I have with me Nilotpal Basu, Central Committee member of the CPIM, Kamal, Mitra, Chenoy, Professor of Comparative Politics in JNU and also a member of the Aam Aadmi Party, Professor Aditya Mukherjee of the Center for Historical Studies, JNU, and C.R. Keshavan, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Welcome to all of you. Mr. Professor Chenoy, I would like to come to you first. Though we are making it clear here that you are not the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, but you have declared yourself as a member of the Aam Aadmi Party. So we expect you to give us some clarity about what's happening. When a chief minister says, "I am an anarchist," yes, I am an anarchist. What is he trying to convey to the people? And one. Second thing is, there are people who are drawing parallels saying that even Gandhi was an anarchist.
Well, the first thing is that I think he used the term anarchist in an ironic way because he'd already been accused of being an anarchist. So it was his way of answering. As for Gandhiji, I think despite the NCRT textbooks and other things, there could be a lot more political history and explanation of his role and what he achieved. And I don't think anyone would deny that some impact of Gandhi is there on almost every political tradition.
No, but when you say that he was being more ironical when he said that he was an anarchist, but what about the actions which we are witnessing now? Would you dub them as anarchists? Many people are saying that it is anarchist, and cutting across class, people are feeling that it is an anarchist action.
Well, look, there is a dharna where today the barricades were broken. This is commonplace. I know in JNU when we were students and even later.
No, we are not talking of the breaking of barricades and things like that. A chief minister, an elected chief minister, sitting on the streets of the place on which he is supposed to govern, and then creating this atmosphere all around. That is what I am talking about. Let us not get into the nitty-gritties of what is happening there. Some people getting injured or some people being pushed around. We are not talking of that.
Well, I think he is trying to make a point, as you said, that since policemen are involved, that the state police should be under the Delhi government. And he has been seen sitting on the ground signing papers.
Yes.
But I think he is basically trying to push an agenda where the state government will have more say in the running of the state,
right,
in the disbursement of funds, in organizing people than is normally the case. And therefore, these demonstrations are really a way of getting people together. And I was at the last demonstration and there today, and certainly more people are pouring in. So it is also a form of mobilization. I think as time goes on, things will get refined, people become more experienced, and some errors and mistakes that we might note now would not occur in the same measure later. It's a learning experience for many of the followers of Aam Aadmi. They have not been in this kind of milieu before.
So you are saying that issues which he has raised. There is no doubt about it. Some of the issues which he has raised, whether about Delhi police, under whom it should be, or about funding and things like that, are issues which will find resonance even among many other political parties. But the question is all about the methods being employed. Professor Mukherjee, the methods being employed.
Absolutely. I think there is no doubt that the Aam Aadmi Party has caught the disease, and it has caught the imagination of the common people, because
why do you call it a disease?
The disease, in the sense that
are you using it in a positive sense?
Yeah, in a positive sense, in the sense the disease being the distancing between the governance, the problems of governance,
right?
The distancing from the common people of what is happening to them through the various institutions of the state. There is no doubt that this is something that is bothering the common people. And the Aam Aadmi Party has caught that, and therefore that is why the people are coming in such large numbers today.
Right.
And there comes the problem. And since you mentioned Gandhi gets dropped like a hat, at everything anybody does, it's Gandhian. But I think let's be very clear on this, that there is no way that Gandhi can be compared to what is happening here. If Gandhi was able to mobilize the people, if he heard the people's voice, the next thing that he did as a leader was to give it direction. Right. That's what made Gandhi different from anybody who could raise the masses.
You think Arvind Kejriwal is not giving a direction?
He does not know the direction himself. How can he give the direction? It is one thing to be a movement and raising the people, and another to give them direction and say what is wrong and what is right, and not allow certain things, and that is not happening. And secondly, calling Gandhi anarchist. When Gandhi is disobeying laws, he is disobeying laws of a colonial state.
Right.
This is not an elected government. But when you are obstructing the functioning of an elected government,
being an elected representative
yourself,
yes.
Then there are big question marks, because it is an elected government, and B, these are institutions of a institution based on a constitution, which an elected government over periods of time have created, right? So when you question that, when you say the police should now join, etc., this is not the kind of thing anybody in the national movement or Gandhi would do. I think we should be very clear about this, that this movement, and that is one of their main problems, is not making the transition from movement to government in an effective manner. Governance is a different job altogether, and you cannot use the same tactics that you did to mobilize people and then say the people will now tell us how to govern. People cannot tell you how to govern.
Movement to government. That's an interesting phrase which you've made. From movement to government. Nilotpal Basu, before I go to the Congress representative, who in fact will have a lot to answer, Nilotpal Basu, your party, the movement, the background from which you come from, these kind of agitations, these kind of mobilization is nothing new as far as your background and your history is concerned. But where do you think that your forms of mobilization and the new forms of mobilization which we are witnessing now, the difference lies?
You see, I quite agree with Professor Aditya Mukherjee that mobilization, yes, but any political party, responsible political party, even a revolutionary political party needs to give a certain direction to that mobilization. There has to be a content. Now, we had actually regarded the victory of Aam Aadmi Party, rather their good showing, as a positive development to the extent it offered an alternative both to Congress and BJP. But we had flagged the point that the question now would be how a civil society movement would really graduate to a political party, because a civil society movement necessarily poses questions, makes critiques, but a party has to be accountable, answerable, more so if they are in the government. Here you see the heart of this question which Chief Minister Kejriwal is raising about the accountability of the Delhi police and what role the state government will be having, actually is an old issue. Yes. You look at it since the very inception, every state government in Delhi has raised that question.
And every party supports it. Every party supports the demand that it should come under the Delhi government.
And the question is, but where can it be settled? Because it is a constitutional question, it's a legal question. And can it be settled on the streets? And the second point is, what is more disturbing is that initial development took place regarding certain very serious allegations about the law minister of the state government.
Right.
Now it was not raised as such. This demand was articulated not as such, but it came in the heels of those allegations against the minister. There, I think the chief minister needs to come clean.
No, in all fairness to the Aam Aadmi Party, it was part of the manifesto about, as far as the Delhi police issue is concerned, the larger issue of where it should be. But you're right, the vigilantism, as some people are calling it, of this minister and what happened later are disturbing, and some of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders have expressed their opinion about it. Okay, going to Mr. Keshavan. Mr. Keshavan, your party is now right at the heart of the whole issue now. Your party and the government is really seems to be stuck in between what some people feel is between a hard stone and a place, because you don't know what to do. Now you think that the onus is now on the Congress party, which is supporting the Aam Aadmi Party, to take a decision.
Girishji, I want to respond to 2 points before I come to your question. First, I take very strong exception in comparing Gandhiji's ways to Mr. Kejriwal's party. The spectacle, the unbecoming, unsavory spectacle which has been orchestrated and enacted since yesterday is not only a dent on democracy, it's also a mockery of the constitutions bequeathed to us by our founding fathers.
That's okay.
No,
okay, fine.
Let me complete it.
Let us come to the point now. I take your point very well. Let's come to the point.
I'm coming back to the point.
Yes.
The Congress party extended support to the Aam Aadmi Party because we needed to provide a stable government to the 2.2 crore people of Delhi. And what the Congress party and the people of Delhi were expecting is Mr. Kejriwal's party would address the challenges and the issues concerning governance and development of the people of Delhi and provide scalable, sustainable and substantial solutions.
Okay.
And we were expecting, let me complete, sir. We were expecting that they will have a mature transition from being a movement to a political party governing the state capital.
Right.
But unfortunately, what we see here is they're transitioning from a democracy to a mobocracy. And that is,
So what is that? I take your point, Keshavan. Now the question is, so now what? Now what
so
is when you're calling a government which is being run in Delhi, supported by you, as a mobocracy, what is the onus on your party to ensure that this mobocracy doesn't continue?
Let me answer that very clearly.
Yes.
The Congress party extended support to Mr. Kejriwal's party based on how they implement the manifesto, which will keep the interests of the people of Delhi at heart and the development. It's an 18-point manifesto.
Right.
And let me just remind you to one of the points of the manifesto when it comes to women issues. One of the points was they will have a citizen security force in every ward to ensure that, women's security is ensured.
Right.
And second thing, when they talked about the police, was they said for every police and security officer who loses their life in, saving the citizens of Delhi, they'll pay 1 crore people. They'll pay 1 crore as, compensation. Look at what they have done. They're being contradictory. So the Congress party is very keenly watching this. We have to remember one thing. It's just been a month.
Exactly.
And, when we extended support, we said we'll be patient. But patience does run out. So what I want to say is the people are watching. You can't take them for granted. And the Congress party will, is looking at it. And we say to these people, implement your manifesto. Don't use these tactics as red herrings. They have serious problems with the minister. And let me not talk as a congressman alone. Look at the way they've attacked Mr. Jaitley ji, a former law minister. Look at the way they've attacked Harish Salve ji. This is very, very sad. So we appeal to this party to, ensure that they do what they were voted for. Otherwise, they're going to lose their goodwill fast. Don't take the people of Delhi for granted.
Okay. So it means to say that the Congress party is willing to, willing to wait for a longer time for them to start implementing their promises.
It's just been a month, not even a month.
Okay, Professor Chenoy, vigilantism. Another, as Nilotpal says, and everybody else is talking about it also. Vigilantism some of the ministers, some of the members of the Aam Aadmi Party, or we will concede that there is a certain amount of over enthusiasm which is being displayed by these people. But vigilantism as a tool, you think, is something which can be tolerated by people.
Well, the first point I want to make about Gandhi.
Yes.
The whole thrust of the argument by Aam Aadmi for a decentralized economy and society comes from whom?
Gandhi. It comes from Gandhi, there is no doubt about it.
If the argument of Mr. Keshavan is that we have no leader fit to fill Gandhi's shoes, that is obviously true about the whole country. I would also, since he has pointed out that this has been some 20 days, in 20 days we have cut costs of electricity, cut costs of water. We are looking at other ways things can be improved. It's not that we've been doing nothing. About vigilantism, there is one episode in Khirki village. On NDTV yesterday, there was a discussion.
I'll come to you, Keshav.
And the person from the Resident Welfare Association praised Mr. Bharti. We don't think that ends the matter. But I'm just putting this on the table.
So what you're trying to say is that there was a real issue actually.
Yes.
There was a real problem there which he tried to address. The question is the way he tried to address is the problem.
No,
would you admit that?
Yes, but you see, some of the things that were done, like the urine tests and all that, was not something he managed. Someone else managed. But equally seriously, we are disappointed, and it was pointed out to him yesterday itself. The comments made against Arun Jaitley and Harish Salve. Harish came on the station, said, I don't want action against anyone, but I'm deeply hurt.
Right.
And I won't participate in such a discussion. So we're sorry about that. None of our leaders should use unbecoming language. Because it is totally against the kind of politics we claim to pursue.
Yes, Keshavan, very quickly before I go to...
Girish, this is the problem with the Aam Aadmi Party. Every time they act and then think. You see the kind of flip-flops that has happened in the last 20 days. Be it, when it came to the house of Mr. Kejriwal, he said, I'll take a 5-bedroom flat, and he went back. The issue on Kashmir, how Mr. Prashant Bhushan and Mr. Kejriwal contradicted themselves.
Okay.
See the Janta Darbar. No, all I'm saying is this flip-flops which they're doing is eroding the faith, which the people have reposed in them, and they better be careful.
If it is eroding the faith, I don't think you should be worried. They should be more worried about it.
No, we are worried because we want the people of Delhi to benefit. We are supporting this government so that the people of Delhi benefit. So we are equally concerned.
Okay, Professor Mukherjee, let us look at the whole concept of anarchy itself. The whole concept of anarchy is something, if you go by the Greek meaning of the word, it means that, where there is no separation between the rulers and the ruled, which is what Kejriwal talks about all the time. One. And second thing is about breaking hierarchies. This is something which those people keep talking about all the time, breaking hierarchies. Our political party, the existing political system is full of hierarchies, and you think that is where they are getting this enormous support from, because they are hitting at the existing political system.
Which is absolute. This is what I started with.
Yes.
That they have got to a correct problem.
Right.
Where our political class across the board, more or less, has failed to connect with the people,
right,
have created hierarchies, and have allowed a situation to reach such a position that people are out on the streets.
Right.
Having done that, what is the AAP going to do now is the issue. And here, this both vigilantism and anarchy, they go hand in hand, so to speak.
Right.
When you allow that, what you're allowing is a situation where institutions of the state are eroded. And in that situation, what normally happens historically again is that it's the right wing with the foot soldiers which can actually do the vigilant activity which comes to power.
Right.
And then eventually a dictator has to sort of sort out this anarchy and put order together. Now that angle, I'm not saying that is what AAP is aiming at, but that is something which is a strong possibility.
You think that's a fear? That is your fear?
That is definitely a fear.
But
and we must, if I may finish, and we must learn from historical examples. That what have we done in similar situations when we have, for example, in 1937 itself, before independence, when the Congress party comes to power in the provinces.
Right.
What does it do? It tries to bring in radical laws, pro-peasant, pro-working class, etc., but puts a certain limit on, and in fact it has been critiqued by the left for not allowing it all. put certain limits that it doesn't go beyond, because then that would create anarchy. Similarly, after independence, the new regime knew that the earlier institutions, the ICS and the police, etc., were full of problems, etc., but they didn't say, no, we are overthrowing everything, and we will go to the people directly and solve the problem. It is not so simple. I think making a transition to a more humane society is not going to be such a simple solution that you go to the people and bring them to the streets and you take over. It is not
serious
going to be
concern
so
he is expressing. As far as fundamental problems, as he said, from moving from movement to governance, how do you move? These are all these are the basic issues which have to be discussed now. Is there any clarity among the Aam Aadmi Party, or is it just bungling along and trying to find its feet?
Well, we have some 31 committees which are drafting anything from an economic manifesto to an ecological manifesto to various political parts of the polity and society which need to be improved. So it will come all on the table.
But do you share the fear of Professor Mukherjee that if there is no proper understanding of what you're wanting to do, it could lead to some kind of a situation where what he describes as a rightist,
if you remain only
a dictator taking over and all those.
If you remain single issue based, only corruption.
No, obviously he's referring to the 1930s situation in Germany.
Yeah, but I don't think we're a single issue party, that the record shows. But I agree with Aditya about the more fundamental point that it is difficult if you have a number of different kinds of problems to tackle them all within a finite period. True. And the situation now is much more complex than 1937. So it is a daunting task, but our people were elected for that. All of us chose to join this party for that. And there will be every effort to reach out to all sections, including other political parties who would like to make contributions and who have contributions to make, to join this, because this cannot be a single venture. It is very much a joint venture. Right. And that is why it takes us a bit time to move from party to movement, because we are moving from one party to many movements. From many movements, then we try to bring in other parties. It's an experiment, unfortunately, that hasn't been done before. So we will have to learn new things.
So you have no role models to follow.
We have no role models to follow, and we have a much more complex polity and a much more complex international situation.
Okay, Nilotpal, would you agree with Professor Chenoy's assessment of what's happening? He's been candid enough to say that it's a very complex situation. They have landed themselves in a situation where they have to find new role model. They have to create new models. They have no role models to follow at all.
I know that Professor Chenoy is talking about certain complexities, and I rather envy him how he is going to tackle them in his new party. But my problem is more fundamental, that my confusion is compounded. You see, for example, you are telling that Aam Aadmi Party is going to get rid of hierarchies. Now, Kamal was referring to about 31 committees.
No, I am not saying that they are going to get rid of hierarchies. I am saying
they
have been talking of hierarchies.
Precisely. Yeah. That is my point. That, you see, talking about getting rid of hierarchies is one thing. And how to tackle with the problems, we had this whole business about one of the MLAs, that Bini. And ultimately that this disciplinary committee had to be created, and I heard their spokesman telling that yes, freedom of expression, but no indiscipline.
Right.
So there will have to be a certain organizational setup, and along with that policy framework, but for which no political party can function.
Right.
And I can tell you, Girish, any responsible, serious political party is really grappling with the challenge how to de-bureaucratize their political structure.
Right.
So if you tell me de-bureaucratization, I am with you. But if you say there will be no hierarchy, there will be a free-for-all, now somebody will defend Somnath Bharati, Jogendra Jadhav will critique Somnath Bharati. Now Kumar Vishwas will go out of the way, and Sali, the Kerala says, I think
no, that's fine.
That is not the way you go about building a party.
Okay, yes, Professor Mukherjee.
I just want to say that it is not true that there are no historical examples of how you can come in and transform and change. I mean, after all, we should learn from our own experience after independence.
Right.
You completely transformed the land structure. The CPM, for example, did it in Bengal. You use the same institutions, you use the same bureaucracy, transformed them, persuaded them, created new laws, and you have to go. You cannot say now we are going to overthrow it. We are going to throw out the bureaucracy.
Okay.
You cannot destroy the institutions. If you do, then you create
I agree.
kind of
I agree.
situation.
Very quickly, we're completely running out of time. I want all of you to respond very quickly. First, you can, Professor Mukherjee. Do you think something good will come out of all this chaos which we are witnessing now? Very quickly.
Partly good. I think that the good thing is that when others have failed, and to hear the people's voice, this is deepening of democracy, that some other formation has come up.
Okay.
The bad is what they're going to do with it.
No, we were talking about good.
How they face the challenge.
There is enough being discussed about what bad things will happen. Yes, Professor Chenoy, very quickly.
I think the most important thing for us to do is to be open to all opinions, open to all methods, and to do this quickly, but always have a feedback, including from our critics, because that is the only way that this experiment can work.
Mr. Keshavan, very quickly.
I think the Aam Aadmi Party should have their priorities right. Stop theatrics, stop playing to the gallery, focus on the manifesto on which they were voted for. Else they will lose the faith of the party, and the Aam Aadmi Party probably will henceforth be known as the Ahankar Aadmi Party.
Okay. Nilotpal, very quickly, last word.
Since so many people have reposed their confidence in the recently concluded elections, we hope some good will come out of this.
Okay, I think on that positive note, because the streets of Delhi, there is enough chaos in the streets of Delhi, but we are ending this show today on a more positive note. Hopefully the Aam Aadmi Party will be able to work out its tactics and ensure that it gives more confidence to the people who have reposed so much faith as Nilotpal was talking about. Thanks to all my guests, Nilotpal, Basu, Keshavan, Professor Aditya Mukherjee and Professor Kamal, Mitra, Chenoy. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on Big Picture, same time tomorrow.